Hello, you, and welcome to Palace Fan TV. I'm Jim Daly. This is our Bournemouth preview video, and it's a very special one for me because our Bournemouth fan this week is a man that I know very well indeed. In fact, I went to university with him and lived with him at uni. He's my good friend, Paul Scott. Paul, how you doing?
Hello, James Daly. Do I call you Jim now?
Jim, yes, it's all
You're
it's all
Jim
changed.
these days, are you?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm very, very good. It's really, really, really good to see you because it's probably literally been a couple of years since we spoke, possibly.
It probably has been, yeah. I came back last Christmas, and the old uni gang got reunited, but you couldn't be bothered to turn up. So, yeah, no, it's good to see you, mate. It's good to see you.
Good man. And you're a Bournemouth fan, and I'm sure you and all Bournemouth fans are absolutely loving how it's going at the moment. I mean, it must be sort of better than anything you expected this season.
It's genuinely, it's like a fantasy world. I mean, I've been a Bournemouth fan for 20 years now. In the old stadium, the old Dean Court, and you do. I remember thinking about what it would be like for Bournemouth to be in the Premier League, but it was like an unobtainable dream. You knew it was never going to happen. It's like being an astronaut or something. You can imagine it, but it's never going to become reality. And was it 7 years ago, where the club was? I mean, we were concerned about whether we were going to be playing Salisbury City in the conference, not reaching the Premier League. It wasn't even the dream that I had as a child wasn't even on the radar 7 years ago because the club was in such dire straits. And to see where they are now is it's beyond fantasy.
Well, it's the same it's the same for Palace fans because we were in administration 5.5 years ago and facing similar crises. You know, not sure whether we'd have a club the next season or.
The story obviously with Bournemouth has been pretty well documented. I'm sure you and the viewers know, but we had minus 17 points in League Two,
yeah,
and the transfer embargo when Eddie Howe took over out on New Year's Day, and we were, I think, 10 points from safety with a transfer embargo in League Two. I remember one day I was covering them, so I used to work for local radio down there, and I was in the tunnel waiting to speak to a couple of the players after some 3-0 defeat to Macclesfield or something. And the woman from the ticket office came in with a carrier bag of cash to pay the players because the cash flow was so bad. That's how they had to get paid.
Wow. I think also for fans of Bournemouth and fans of Palace and others like that, it makes it all the more special being where you are now in the Premier League, given how close things have come to being to adversity.
I think Bournemouth fans are fully prepared that this is short term, that this might not last for beyond this season. Personally, I think it will. But when we went the first couple of weeks, I think in August, when we lost to Villa, gave Villa their only 3 points so far. And I remember thinking, and we got heavily defeated at Man City. I think we lost at Stoke, and I was thinking, you know what? I just kind of miss going to Dagenham and Redbridge, and I'd be quite happy when there's no spotlight on us and we're back in League Two. So there's an acceptance that it might be short term, so you kind of just go along for the ride. But having said that, I think we've adapted now. We've had to change our tactics because we've had serious injuries. Callum Wilson, who was our top scorer last season, out with a cruciate ligament damage. Max Gradle, our big summer signing, who I had really high hopes for, out with cruciate injury. Tyrone Mings, signed from Ipswich, out, cruciate injury. So we've had to change our tactics completely and the way we play. And I think the last 3 weeks it's just started to click again. And so although there's an acceptance that it might not last when we're going along for the ride, I genuinely think we'll be okay.
How do Bournemouth fans feel about Glenn Murray? Because obviously he left Palace in the summer to join Bournemouth, looking for first team football. Hasn't really featured that much, but did score against Chelsea. Massively loved at Palace for what he did to get us promoted. Has he sort of settled in at Bournemouth for the fans that like him?
It's not been perhaps the smoothest of transitions. I think I haven't read the quotes, but I've read the message boards, and apparently he was quoted as saying that he didn't want to play up front on his own. He'd come here to play as part of a two.
Right.
And then away at Southampton, he played up front on his own because we had no we had injuries and had no other option. And there was rumours going around that he was sort of a bit unhappy with that role and had thrown his toys out of the pram a little bit, and sort of was dropped from the squad and then on the bench, and he's sort of been on the bench since. But he started at West Brom last Saturday, because we had another injury. Josh King was out, and I think if he wants to be a part of a two, it's just not possible at the moment because we literally don't have the players. So he has to play a lone role up front. I don't know if Josh King's going to be back, so Glenn Murray could actually be in line for a start, a rare-ish start against Palace. And I think you tweeted when he signed for us. You said, well, that's a guaranteed goal on Boxing Day.
It always happens.
Yeah, so if he starts, then maybe, I mean, as a Bournemouth fan, you can't be too optimistic. You're not going to say he's going to score against you. But as a Palace fan, you can be pessimistic and say he's probably going to score. So, he's a bit part player, I would say, at the moment. He's got a couple of goals. He's a different type of player. But this is what I mean about we had to change our tactics slightly, because Callum Wilson kind of runs the line. He's strong. He holds the ball up. He's got pace. He runs the channels. Glenn Murray is a bit more of a pivotal sort of focal point rather than sort of running the channels. You know, he doesn't kind of get in behind and hasn't got the pace. So we've had to change the way we play slightly with him. I mean, you're pretty sure he's going to score.
He'll definitely score. But to be fair, if he scores and it's 3-0 Palace at the time, then 3-1 or whatever, the Palace fans will cheer a Glenn Murray goal.
Yeah, is he that loved?
That loved, yeah.
Okay, he hasn't quite got that. He's not as revered at Bournemouth yet, but
one day maybe.
Winners against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, maybe it will.
What's your prediction for Saturday? How do you think it's going to go? What's the score going to be?
As I say, I don't think we'll lose.
Okay.
I think, but you're too gritty. I don't think we'll win either. So I think there'll be a 1-1 or 2-2.
I was going to say 2-2. So I think you're probably in the right kind of area. It's going to be a good game. It'll be close and there'll be goals definitely.
Yeah, I think it'll be a hard-fought draw. I think.
Well,
and
I think both teams take that, given form of both teams, don't they?
Yeah. As long as it keeps us above Chelsea.
Exactly, which you didn't think you'd be saying this time at Christmas.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
Paul, mate, thank you so much for chatting. That's been absolutely brilliant. Really appreciate it.
Okay. Cheers, Trilby. Nobody knows you as Trilby, do they?
Oh, yeah, Trilby. Yeah, no one. I'd have to explain that now. I used to be called Trilby at university because I once wore a Trilby hat.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
You're now called what? Bobble hat?
I'm not called, Bobble. Let's call me Bobble. That sounds weird. Good, Paul. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to check out. Good, you're a good man. Subscribe for more of these videos. Drop a like if you enjoyed it. Comment below. What do you think the score's going to be? Is it going to be 2-2 or will Palace get a win? And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Snapchat, where I'll be doing snaps from every away game this season. So see you again soon.